I'm like, if you're feeling so insecure, you can spread out.
Half a minute ago, we're like, oh, like summer camp.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about things not related to fitness. We're going to talk about food, nutrition stuff, sleep, and all that stuff, because you're probably going to get hurt if you are not eating well and taking care of yourself outside of the track. So first and foremost, if you guys are not eating before practice, you're setting yourself up to fail. You're probably going to be pretty low energy, and I know that some people have a really hard time eating before practice because it makes you kind of want to throw up sometimes, especially if it's hot. But if you don't have food in your system and you start to do this in practice, that your chances of injuries like skyrocket. So yeah.
Do you care if I get my phone to take notes?
Yeah, no, please.
Seems important.
So what I often tell my clients or people who have tummy issues is at least get a protein shake in, something with carbs and protein that you can easily digest, that will be there available for energy, especially if you have a 2-hour practice and it's hot, because it's hot here, I think. Yeah. So like when it's hot, I know, and I'm like, I walked in, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a sweaty practice. But if you can at the very least get that in, ideally you're going to eat 2 hours before practice, and it's going to be a balanced meal of some kind, protein, carbs, and fat. If you can't do that, at least get protein and carbs in, set yourself up for success to have a good practice, and then immediately try to eat after practice. So within 45 minutes, your recovery window is going to go way up if you can eat something, same, protein shake, protein bar, something. It's going to help you to feel better and not be so sore the next day, because the more sore you get, the more chances are that you're going to hurt yourself again. So I'm going to be talking about that hurt angle because I've heard about a string of injuries, and so that's really where this is coming from. Okay, so nutrition's number one, sleep is number two. So I know it's really hard to come down from practice, but like you got to somehow find a recovery routine or something to get you to decompress. Because I know I've gotten home at 11 and 1 a.m. I'm like, this is wide awake from the derby high. But there's got to be things that you can do. Keep the lights low. Don't stare at your phone for an hour. You know, like maybe try not to watch TV. Eat foods that are not going to wake you up, which is sugary foods usually. But again, the more sleep you can get, the better off you're going to be for like the next practice. And then especially if you're doing like an off and on schedule, like derby one day workout, next day derby workout, that sleep is going to be even more important. So those are the two big things, because I always tell my clients, like, you can't out train bad habits. So like what you do here at the track is like a very small percentage of what it means to be healthy and to make sure that you're okay and not going to get hurt. Okay, so I'm just going to say this, I'm going to get up on my pedestal real quick and then I'll just come down. Practice is not meant to be your workout. This is not your workout for the day, okay? If you're skating and you're doing roller derby, that's a very specific set of muscles that are being used, and it's your responsibility to balance that out outside of practice. Yes, your coaches and captains can give you tools, they can help you do some stuff, maybe some off skates warm up, but if you don't want to get hurt and if you want to perform, it's your job to figure out what that means. And I'm sure your coaches and captains and people in leadership can give you ideas, but ultimately it's your motivation and time that has to like make that thing happen. So if you don't want to get injured, you have to balance out all this shit that you're doing on the track. We're a very quad dominant sport. We do not work our hamstrings very often, which is why there are so many knee injuries. Ankle injuries happen because we are quad dominant and we don't balance out the structure in our legs. So if you're not working on the front and the back of your legs and then doing ankle stability, knee stability, and hip stability, you're setting yourself up to just like eventually get to that breaking point and then something snaps. And that can be from falls, from hits, it can be from your wheels being shitty. I mean, like, who knows, right? So like, again, your responsibility. And it doesn't mean you have to work out for an hour. It could just be 15 minutes of doing something to like balance out what you did at practice, because practice is hard and getting hit is hard, and all of the stuff that we do to our ankles and skating in the same direction over and over again is not good for your body. So you got to find ways to balance that out. Some of the things that I feel like most people don't do to help with that is work on hamstrings, which is like deadlifts. There's a lot of like machines that you can use at Planet Fitness that work and target hamstrings specifically, but honestly, if you just work on deadlifts, you're probably going to be fine. And doing a variety of straight leg and bent leg is going to help you a lot. Single leg balance, as much as you possibly can. And that's like just watching TV on one leg, right? Or like you're doing skater jumps and you don't go to the other side right away. Like that kind of stuff. Because most of the time when you're falling, it's because you're skating, somebody either hits you or your foot goes and your one foot can't handle it. And so then you fall, right? Or like you're doing the little maneuver and then you can't handle it and then you fall. So the better you can get at that single leg balance and stability, the chances are of your falling is gonna go down. And then lastly, it's like core and midline stability. So if you can take and give a hit very well, you're not gonna fall as much, right? So like you have to be able to like understand what it means to be hit really hard and then also what it means to hit really hard, because you can fall from hitting someone, right? Especially if they're really strong. So if you have a stronger core, your ability to not fall, to not get hurt is gonna reduce. So like working on anything, and honestly that could just be something as simple as doing planks every day. It could be doing some like twisting motions with something heavy. I mean, you can just like, I can give you a bunch of ideas if you have them, okay? And then mobility. So it's the one thing that I feel like most people are like, that's so boring. But if you don't make sure that you're not tight, you're again setting yourself up for injury. So like making sure that your quads, hamstrings, and calves at a minimum are nice and loose going into practice, because if they're tight, it just pulls on your joints and then it just makes it that much easier. Like it's like a rubber band. The more tight it gets, the easier it is to snap. So again, if your coaches and captains are leading you through something and you're still feeling tight, like it's okay to take another minute or two and just like do something extra if you're feeling super tight, or if like maybe you did a quad heavy workout and you're like, ooh, yeah, I still need to work that out. I'm sure that your leadership would be like, yes, please. We would rather you not get hurt and just like loosen it up. And sometimes just bringing a foam roller to practice can help with that. And you can just spend 30 seconds on each side, just kind of loosening it up. I'm not a huge fan of static stretching, because when we're playing a sport, like we don't want our muscles to get longer and then get longer. We want there to be a nice flexion of back and forth. So if you're just sitting there and you're doing this for like a minute before practice, your hamstring is just getting longer and longer and longer, but you need your hamstrings and your quads to go from that stretched to relaxed state, and that's where all the power comes from. That's where quick twitch muscles come from. So like doing more dynamic stretching over static stretching is going to set you up for success. You can do this static stuff after practice when you're trying to decompress, and that's probably going to also help you recover faster as well. So that's the time to just like sit there and talk to your friends and just like, you know, hold a stretch for a little while, and then maybe go to your hips and then go to your ankles and do that kind of stuff, okay? I just spewed a whole bunch of information. Does anyone have any questions about that? Yes.
What is a dynamic stretch?
It's a moving stretch. So like instead of just like sitting here like this and just holding it for like 10, 15 seconds, you could just go for like 1 second there, 1 second there. So you're not just like holding and stretching the muscle. You're just doing a little bit and then letting it come back, a little bit and then letting it come back. You can do, I'm gonna take you through a dynamic warm up, which will help as well. But when you're at home too, it's the same way. Like it's very rare that like I'm gonna go into a workout having done like 3 minutes of static stretching. It's mostly just like a lot of movement. I'm like getting things to loosen up and getting my body to like be more functional because it's tight from working out. Any other questions? Leadership questions? Nothing? No? We're good? Okay. That means that I'm going to test you on this and you're all going to know everything that I'm saying. And then the last thing, and I did not talk to leadership about this, but I would say if you're late to practice, you should do your own warm-up. You should not be jumping in on skates not warm. So like, that's not like 1 minute of skating around. That's not a warm-up. Like you need to do a real warm-up so that your body is ready, especially like depending on that practice. If the first drill has contact in it and your body is not ready, like you're just setting yourself up to get hurt or potentially to just not do very good. right? Like your performance level and your ability to like partner with someone or be in a group is not going to be great because your body's just not ready. So take 5 to 10 minutes, do a real warm up, and then go get ready. And if you're late, that is part of you being late, is that you're going to now have to do this warm up on your own and then join practice late, okay? It's not like walk in the door, everyone has their skates on and be like, I don't need to do that, I'll just put my skates on and then jump right in. It's not gonna help anyone, and it's not gonna help your team to do that, so just like do it, do the warm up. Yeah?
Leadership wholeheartedly agrees.
Okay, good. I mean, it's, for me, as a captain and a coach for many, many years, I just developed a warm-up that everyone knew, and it was the same every time. We did it before every game, every practice, so that if you were late, you knew what to do. Or some people would work out at home, and like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, just do the warm-up we do for on skates. Like, that's enough. Like, that'll be enough to get through everything that you're gonna do, and then you'll feel ready to go. So like, I'm gonna take you through something tonight. I've taken away some things that I used to do with my former teams and have added a couple things that I think are probably a little bit better. And then depending on how much time we have, then we'll do a little workout with some movements that you might want to use. Cool? Cool? Okay, so let's put water bottles off to the side. Yes. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like lacing it. So whatever you want to do, if you want to jog in a circle, I don't care. But we're just loosening up. So I'm gonna set the timer and we're gonna jog for 1 minute. Not run, jog. Go. Jog, just a little jog. We're just loosening it up. 30 seconds. Those of you not wearing shoes, I admire you for being able to do this.
It was an oversight.
That's okay. 15 seconds.
Yeah, right.
And done. Good. Let's all make a straight line here. Man, I'm already sweating and I haven't even done anything.
Cannot emphasize enough. This is a really good day compared to last week.
Good. Well, I know. It's been like 98 minutes. Okay, so we're just gonna go in the straightaway. We're not gonna go into the turn. So we're just gonna do high knees down. Okay. So try to get your knees up as high as possible. Okay, and back, and just do the straightaway. And those breaths move very differently. All right, butt kickers. Really try to kick your butt. This is for your ankles if you're not sure why we're doing this. And back. Okay, we're gonna do skips, but we're gonna pretend like we're Mario. So you're gonna try to like get nice and high. So on each skip, try to get a little bit of air. So we're just doing this down.
Imagine question marks over your head.
This one I actually want you to go to the end because we're skipping for distance. Okay, so you're trying to travel over the skip. So you're going to go all the way to the end of the track. All right, go. Get some distance. All right, then walk your way back. Here. So halfway we're going to do Russian kicks. So you're just going to try to keep your legs as straight as possible and touch your toe with the opposite hand. If you can't get that line, that's fine. So we're just going to go halfway to that line. So whenever you're ready. And then something similar, we're going to walk in front. It's called chicken walk. So the leg is straight, you flex the foot, and you're just going to go down. You should feel this all in your hamstrings, yes? Mm-hmm. Yes, for everybody? Good. You're just going to go to the pivot line. All right, for this next one, spread out just a little. We're very heavy on this side. So come just a little bit more. We're gonna face this direction, okay? I did not bring my whistle because I haven't coached in 2.5 years. So we're gonna go on my go, okay? So I want you to get down into an athletic position and you're gonna do a side shuffle, stop, on my go. Side shuffle, stop, on my go. Make sense? But don't run into each other. Okay? Ready? Go. And stop. Go. Good. So you're trying to get as far as you can. I really want you to think about like as much. Oh, it is a little slippery, so be careful. And go. Go. Good, that's better. Go. Go. Good. Turn around. And every time you land in that athletic position. Okay? And go. Go. That's better. Go. 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 Good. You'll like this one better. This is a crossover. So you start here, you're going to cross over and stop. Cross over and stop. Okay? So we'll do left crossover this way, right crossover back. Go. 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 And right crossover back. Everyone even out. Come on over. And go. 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 I know it's so slippery. Oh, that was like Simon Says that time. Yeah. Go. Go. One more. Go. Good. All right, you can spread out wherever you want for this. You don't have to stay in a straight line. We're going to do 5 inchworms. So we're going to walk our hands out. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to switch to a right plank, left plank, and then walk back and come up. Okay, so 5 of those. So the reason we're doing this is for bracing. Okay, so when you go to that single arm plank, we're trying to get some nice shoulder stability. If you want to hold there for a couple extra seconds, it's up to you. But I'm not going to count for you, but don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, go down, hold for 5 seconds, hold for a second, hold for a second, and then walk yourself back. Yes.
You want to stand in a good position?
Yes, I would love to do that. Yes. So when you walk out, you want to make sure that your hands are directly under your shoulders. Keep your butt tucked, so you don't want the hips down or the hips up. You want to tuck the butt, squeeze your butt, and then you want to think about drawing your navel up to the ceiling. It's like a string is pulling you up. If that's really hard for you, even just for 5 seconds, you could put one knee down and alternate, or you could do a half plank. Because I would rather you focus on the core and less on the hips, if that makes sense, okay? So 5 inchworms, walk your hands out, hold for 5 seconds, single arm plank on each side, walk back, go. So we're warming up your core. So when you do that side plank, I want you to go all the way over with your feet stacked on top of each other. Yep. Just hold for a second and then come back, walk your hands back to your feet. Nice big stretch up to the ceiling and then come back down. Do 4 more of those. If you're feeling like you got it, you can add a push up in here if you want. Good. If those single arm planks feel real hard, that's something you can do on your own. When you've done 5, just stay standing. feeling warm? Very good. There's my baby girl. He's so cute. If I would have known it was this warm, I wouldn't have put her in a full onesie. We just have 2 more things to do after this and then we're done with our warm-up. I know, if your wrists are weak, something to work on. All right, so we're gonna do 5 push-ups to downward dog. So if you can't do a push-up, which is like that, touching your chest to the floor, you can go to your knees. That's totally okay. Or you could do 1 knee up, 1 leg down. But the goal is to touch your chest to the floor. This is not a push-up, okay? These are not push-ups, okay? If you want to work your whole body, you want to get the whole shoulder structure, and you want to get your midline involved, we're going to touch all the way down and come all the way up, okay? Then you'll push back into downward dog, really drive your forehead to the floor, and then go back. Okay, 5 of those. So if you can't do a push-up, drop to your knees, and then push back onto your feet for a downward dog. Hands should be about shoulder width apart. No farther. Elbows go out at a 45-degree angle, not at a 90-degree angle. Good. Good. So even if you cannot do a push-up or a knee push-up, I want a straight line from your shoulders down to your hips. So what I don't want is this, okay? I want a plank position so that we can work our midline. If your hips stay up, your midline's not getting anything, okay? Push-ups are supposed to be a full body movement. I know it feels like it when you're like, this sucks, and your arms start to go, but it's all in your pecs, but it's not. You can squeeze your butt and squeeze your abs and you get a rep or 2 out, honestly. It's not supposed to just be up here, okay? So next we're gonna go into a squat hold. So put your feet just outside of your hips, toes pointed out very slightly, okay? Push your hips back, push the knees out, and I want you to get as low as you can. Heels and toes on the ground, so we shouldn't be leaning on our toes. If you think you can do it, try to add a little twist up to the ceiling. Hold for a few seconds and then twist to the other side. Do 1 more of those on each side and I'll watch ya. Try to keep that chest facing up as much as possible. Good. All right, so now we're gonna stay down here and I want you to shift to one side. So heel, toe on the ground completely.
Yeah, good luck.
That's okay. So just go as low as you can. And the goal here is to be able to shift to the other side. So if you struggle with that, that's ankles and hips. So you just got to open up your ankles and hips. So if you can, try to put your heel toe on the ground. So it's not supposed to feel like you're going to stand up from this. This is just like I'm just chilling down here. Okay, so try to switch to the other side. You can use the wall or you can use friends to help you assist with this. So sometimes people just need a little support. Switch to the other side. Good. All right, if you need a drink of water, go ahead and grab it. Everybody, I think you should get water. That's what I should say. I think you should get water. Do you want, Flo, do you want me to give you the carrier? Are you sure? Okay. I guess she's like to her own. No, they're pretty close, honestly. got your water, come back out. So we're gonna do 4 mini workouts. I know that sounds like a lot, but I promise you. Okay? I'm gonna do it EMOM style, so it's sort of like a HIIT workout, but it also time caps you, and then you don't have to be like, this is never ending and this sucks. So I'm gonna give you a rep range, tell you about what time you should be done, and these are all movements I think you should be doing on your own, and that if you want more ideas about other things that you can do, let me know, okay? So again, I'm assuming you won't have access to equipment. So if you do, there's other things that we can add into this to make it more fun and do some variety. But for now, we're just gonna go with this because these are things that you could do in practice without having anything with you, okay? So the first one we're gonna do are squat jumps and push-ups. So on a squat jump, a lot of people tend to throw their arms down. They go like this, and then they throw their arms down when they go for a squat jump. But you're throwing momentum down to the ground when you want to be going up and be explosive. So what I want you to do is to go down with your arms and go up with them so that you get more drive upwards and you're more explosive. The goal for me is to get below parallel. So that means that I want you to get down here. If it's a hard thing for you, just do your best. But ultimately, you're going to get more hamstring and glute activation the more you can break parallel, okay? If you stay up here, it's all quads, and we already worked them enough, right? So I want to get some more movements in there, okay? And for push-ups, we already talked about it. My goal is to try to get the chest to touch, okay? I want you to do somewhere between 8 to 12. The goal is unbroken. So if you do 3 and you're like, oh, that was really hard, go down to your knees or just do them all on your knees. Or if you had like a skate bag or you want to do them on the ledge over there, that would be okay. Because I'm looking for a plank position. I am not looking for, let's see how many I can do with the easiest variation. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're only going to do 6 minutes. So that should be about 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off-ish. I'll give you time markers because you can't see the phone. If you're getting into that 40 to 50 second range, you've done too many reps and you need to do less reps the next time. Does that make sense? Okay. So the goal is about 8 to 12 squat jumps, about 3 to 8 push-ups. Okay. If you want to do singles on the push-ups and make them so beautiful, go for it. Okay. So give yourself some room. Squat jumps, I want you to drive up. Push-ups, I want a plank. Okay? Yes. And then you rest, and then I'll tell you when to do the push-ups. Because you guys can't see my clock. So you're gonna go on the minute, okay? So 8 to 12 squat jumps. So if you finish 8, and that was really fast, do some more, okay? All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, go. So 8 to 12, use those arms to generate some power. Push the knees out, get below parallel. You're only 10 seconds in. Good. 15 seconds. Good. 20 seconds. Nice. See, that wasn't too bad, right? So if you finish in that 15 to 20 second range, I want you to focus on getting higher. Try to like get max effort. So everybody down to the ground. You're gonna do push-ups in 20 seconds. Look at all this time you have. So much time. 3 to 8, somewhere in that range. Unless you're a boss at push-ups, try to do 10. You're gonna go in 5, 3, 2, 1. Go. So 3 to 8. Chest touching. If you get 8 done, go to 10. Get that chest all the way down. I see you with the blonde hair and the top ponytail. 20 seconds in. I'm okay with a little wormy action. So I'm okay with that. When you're done, stand up. Got 20 seconds to minute 2. I'm taking it easy on you guys, by the way. Giving you all this rest. 15 seconds. So same, 8 to 12 squat jumps. If that first set felt easy, I want you to try to get literally as high as you can. 5, 3, 2, 1, go. Max height, max effort on each jump. Yep. Think explosive. Squeeze your butt. Reach for the sky. Good. You're 15 seconds in. Good. Bring your feet in a little bit so that they're in line with your hips, and then push your knees out. 30 seconds to push-ups or next. So if you're ready, you can just go down to that beautiful, super clean floor. If that last set felt easy, feel free to add a rep or two. If you can maintain form and touch your chest to the ground. Okay. 15 seconds. 10. 3, 2, 1, go. Good. Try to squeeze your butt and your abs at the same time while doing these. Bring your hands in a little bit under your shoulders. Yep, and then push your knees out of the elbows out of the 45. Like this. If it feels hard, it should. Good. That was 30 seconds. Okay, one more set and we're done with this. Okay, one more set. If you do push-ups and planks every day, I tell you what, your upper body is going to be happy with you. And your shoulders will thank you for when you get hit. 15 seconds. Didn't you miss these workouts? Oh, yes. 10 seconds. She's not crying. No, doing great. 3, 2, 1, go. Squat jump. Good. Use those arms. You want to use them to generate that power. Good. Try to keep your heel toe on the ground when doing the squat. And push the knees out. Good. All right, last set of push-ups. And then we're going to do skatery things. I know these don't feel very skater-esque, but I swear they are. 30 seconds to push-ups. This is your last set, so if you wanted to do just, a few extra, do it. 15 seconds. 10. She's so cute. 5. 3, 2, 1, go. Get your chest to touch. Green shirt. I see you. Get your chest down. All the way. All the way. All the way. Boobs touching. Nips on the ground.
Loosen my body, go there and girl.
I know, hey, I'm telling you, my boobs got like 3 times bigger in breastfeeding. Push-ups are a lot easier now. Good. If you need water when you're done, feel free to grab it. If not, I'll move on. My boobs have never been this big. My entire life. They're like ginormous. And Aiden doesn't even care. He's like, he has no idea. I take him with me to coach and he's like, did you get that email from Fight? No. They're closing. I kind of knew they'd have to. Yeah. They didn't have enough people and they can't find coaches.
I know they were probably.
So.
How big of a space do they have?
Not big. It's tiny. Fight, Amanda. She's closing her gym.
Oh no.
Yeah, they couldn't find people. All right, so this next part is a little bit more skatery. So when we were doing the Cossack hold at the beginning, my goal is for you to get to that position here. If you cannot, please do it safely, but I want the heel toe to stay on the ground. That's the most important thing to me. Second is to keep the chest up. So what I don't want is this to happen, okay? So chest up, heel toe on the ground. My goal is to get down to this position and then drive up and hold for about 3 seconds, okay? So we're working on that drive off of that single leg into a balance hold, okay? If it feels a little shaky, it's okay to just touch that foot down and then come back up. But I want somewhere between 3 to 5 on one side, where you hold for 2 to 3 seconds, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then we're gonna switch to the other side. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then go back down, okay? That's gonna be on the first minute. The second minute, we're gonna do skater jumps with a single leg deadlift touch. So you're gonna start in the skater position, jump to the other side, hold, touch the ground, come back up, jump to the other side, touch the ground, come back up, and then go to the other side, okay? So these are not meant to be rushed. It's okay if you're last because you're working on your balance, okay? I really want you to focus on what that landing position feels like. So that would be either this one, which means that I'm not going to like a straight leg position. You gotta have a little bend in the knee. You gotta keep the chest up, and sometimes it helps to find a focal point, okay? And then same thing when you land, I wanna find a focal point, touch, focal point, and then go, okay? So somewhere between 3 to 5 of each movement, each time, okay? Cool? Okay, I'm just gonna tell you when to go this time. If it feels like it's too much rest, I'm gonna shorten it. My goal is to still do it in the EMOM, but we'll see how long it's taking people, okay? So first is Cossack squat, so knee drag, hold, okay? 3 to 5 on each side, okay? And go. Big drive, hold for 2 to 3 seconds. Yep, balance is more important to me than the Cossack squat, okay? You're about 15 seconds in. Think about that push off when you're skating. You got to push off of that outside edge to get up into that position. So you're about 30 seconds in. I'd rather you get at least 3 and 3, so see where you're at the minute mark, and then we'll decide if we want to change it. Good. Use your arms when you go down, and then drive up with the arms to help you in that balance position.
Is it the same arm?
It'll be opposite to opposite up. So you'll just keep it there. So that was a minute. Is everybody still going? Do 3 and 3? You did 5? Everyone else 3 and 3? Okay. So let's do 5 skater jumps with the balance touch on each side. Okay? And go. Don't rush the landing. Good. This is also a good one to do on skates if you feel comfortable jumping in skates. Good. When you're done, just go into your next set of Cossack squats. I'm not going to time you. Let's just do 3 sets, okay? So when you're done, Cossack squat to the hip, to the knee drive, 3 to 5, and then go into skater jumps again. We're going to do 3 sets of that. Rest will be up to you. Nice. Good. Hey, baby. Hi. She's so cute. You're so cute. That balance feels a little shaky. Don't forget to soft knee on the landing and find a good focal point. When you're ready, go ahead and go into your skater jumps with the floor touch. Good. can bend your knee a little bit more on that floor touch. You don't have to have a straight leg here. Yep. That's better. And then one more set after that of Cossack squat to knee raise. Then the skater lunge, skater jump to ground touch. And then you can take a break and grab water. Just so you know, you've only been working for 3.5 minutes. It's not that bad. Good. I think I timed this out well. Yeah, because we can do the last 2 sets.
Smells so good.
And then get water if you need it when you're done with your skater jump to ground touch. Good. I mean,
We started on the Cossack squats, right?
yes. Way to be a good example, Fifi, finishing her work. Does anyone have any questions so far? Everyone's form's pretty good, yes.
I've always had a hard time with those low squats.
Yeah.
And it's my ankles that are tight. Do you have stretches or recommendations to get better? Just
You might think it's your ankles, but it could be your hips.
feels like ankles, but people.
Yeah.
So either one.
I will talk to you after practice, so I don't like take up everybody.
Opening too?
Not just hip opening. It's usually a lot of fascia release. Again, because we're a quad dominant sport, if your quads are tight, it pulls on your hips and it kind of throws off your whole alignment. So what a lot of the times I have people do is loosen up the quads, loosen up the hamstrings, and then loosen up the glutes, and then do like hip stretches and ankle stretches. So you got to get the muscles to relax first before you want the joints to loosen up, because if the muscles are too tight, it's not going to really do anything. They're just going to go back. So that's not going to do a lot. I would actually focus more on...
That's what I want to be able to do.
Why?
So I can skate that way.
But why? I've never been able to skate that way.
Because my 180s are horrible. Because I can't turn. I can't open up my hips.
Okay. All right. That's legitimate. I would just say like top level skater, and I could never skate that way. Like I watch people, I'm like, good fucking for you. Like my body doesn't do that. So like I would do actually focusing on pigeon stretch first, so that you can open up the outside of the hip and then go into the frog stretch position. But like doing the ballet, have you ever done ballet stretches? Where like you go up to the wall and you just do this, and you hold here. So like this helps because it gives you that support as opposed to like being on the floor and it just doesn't feel good. But like it's probably a lot in your muscles too. So I would focus on loosening all this up first and then doing hip opening stretches. Because if you're just doing the joint is pretty static. Your muscles is what's kind of probably restricting it. Any other questions? Okay, so we're gonna do 2 more things. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
in the,
you were in my peripheral and
that's
I missed
all
you.
right. In the like the part
Cossack.
to open up.
Yep.
Am I pushing off of here and going this
Yes.
way? Okay.
You want to push over the outside edge.
Okay.
So like if you had skates on and you were like doing that skating motion, right? You want to feel that outside edge propel you upwards.
Yeah.
And then that is where your power is coming from, just like if you're skating.
Got it. Thank you.
So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about too.
Or jukes.
Yeah. And I like Cossack squats because it is very similar to skating, right? So like when we're in this position and we're going back and forth, you want to be this low. So if you can get this low, it just makes it that much easier. And if you can find power and drive from that low position, it's just going to translate that much better to skating. That's my personal opinion. Okay. All right, so we're going to just do a tiny bit of midline work, and then we're going to do agility and be done. Okay. So let's spread out just a tiny bit. We're going to do this Tabata style, so that means 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, okay? In that 10-second transition, that will be where you're going to be switching positions, okay? So first we're going to start with the plank. You can do it on your hands or your forearms, up to you. I saw some of you already doing this with your plank on hands, so either is fine with me. You could be up here or you can be down here, but the same applies that everything should be stacked over the shoulder, and I want you to draw the navel up and I want you to squeeze the butt, okay? So that's number one. Number two is a Superman. So we're just gonna hold here. The goal is to squeeze that butt as hard as you can. Get your arms off of the ground and then point the toes, okay? You should feel this all in the back part of your body, okay? And then the last one is sort of a modified handstand hold. I want you to try to stack as much as you can up here. If you can do handstands, do that. If you can't do handstands, then just try to get as much on top so that you're like in a vertical hold instead of being in a horizontal hold. Does that make sense? You could also do this like with your feet on the wall, whatever. It's up to you. I leave it up to you, okay? So Tabata style, we're gonna just do 2 rounds. It'll go super quick.
I recommend being off the track.
Yeah. So we'll get your sweaty bodies on our track. So
Oh, that's a good idea. All right, so first is plank for 20 seconds. Ready? Set, go. So as straight a line as you can with your shoulders to your head. If your wrists start to feel kind of shaky, go down to your forearms. 10 seconds. Back. And rest. Switch to Superman. So you're going to stay in this position. So next time, try to fully. Okay, and go. 20 seconds, Superman. Squeeze your butt. Try to drive your legs up high and point your toes and reach your arms as far away from you as you can. 5 seconds. And rest. Handstand hold of your choice. So you can just get into a nice V shape. You can try to do a handstand, whatever you want to do, but try to stack on top of your hands. And go. Try to get up on your tippy toes. You want to be as vertical as you can from your hand to your hip. 10 seconds. So just to provide some balance to your upper body and all of the horizontal bracing that we do. Rest. Back down to plank in 5 seconds. And go. So no curve in your back. So hips down. Yep, hips down. There you go. Now pull your navel up. It's just no, it's not. I'm talking about the curvature in your back. That has nothing to do with your back. 5 seconds. You can't maintain. Rest. Superman. And 5 seconds.
So solid track.
And go. 20 seconds. Try to think about driving your belly button into the ground. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Handstand hold of your choice. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Good. As much of those tippy toes as you can. 5 seconds. Good. That was only 3 minutes of work. That was good. All right, I need cones for the next part. We're going to do 2 agility drills and then we're done. And then 7:22, so we're doing good. No, that should be fine. All right, if you need water, get it. If not, you can line up behind me. Or behind the cones, I should say, not behind me. Let's do 3 lines. So 1 line behind Casey, 1 line behind Krista. Right here. And then 1 line over here. There's a lot of agility tools that you can do. Obviously, go to YouTube agility tools and you'll get like 1,000. So feel free to mix it up as much as you want. But I like to do at least some agility before practice because our entire sport is about how quick you can jump. Okay. So the first one we're gonna do is a figure 8 drill. So you're gonna go around the cones and be careful because it's slippery. Okay. Go around the cones in a figure 8, and then once you get down here, you're gonna take off and sprint to the end of the track. Just to the straightaway, okay? So this is about how quickly you can get around those cones and go into a takeoff. We're gonna go through it 2 times. Let me see how long that takes. So the first time, go to the left. The second time, go to the right, okay? Just be careful, okay? All right, go. As soon as the person in front of you gets to the line, next person go. And then reset back. It's about those quick, tight feet around the cone. And then a quick takeoff at the end. Good. So actually, wait. Okay. Wait just a second. Okay. You started, right?
No.
Oh, sorry. You started. Wait just a second. So, as I'm watching you guys, you're like very focused on the cone. I want you to be more focused on the footwork, okay? So when you're going around, I want you to think about like leaning in. Leaning in to go into that turn. Because if you were on skates and you were trying to round someone, you wouldn't be like, right? So as you go around, try to think about just like just tiniest little steps you can take, but lean your body in. I know it's really, well, these are not great shoes for this either, I'll be honest. So like, think about that turn around, leaning in, and then less on quick steps and about how fast you can get around the cone. Does that make sense? Okay, go again. I know. I didn't help because now you visually saw me do it and you're like, yeah. Yes. Yeah, go the other direction. So if you went to the left, yes. Work both sides. Work both sides. Yes, that was good. Yep. You'll know if you did it right because if you took off on the first time on the right side, this time you should take off on the left side. Yeah, this is not great. No. It's very sticky.
But it's also been really hot.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one we're going to do is a variation of that, and that'll be 730. So we're going to do a lateral figure 8, but for the takeoff, you're going to do a crossover. So I want you to stay in that low position. You'll go around the cones here. Once you get to this side, it'll be my left that crosses over. So you'll be here and you'll do a left crossover into a takeoff. Got it? And then work both sides the same way. Okay? Go. So
Gotta get those softer shoes.
Take off. Yep.
That was like I'm watching. I'm like,
I think I went the route. I forgot to finish my feet. Semantics.
So get low, athletic position. Yep, there you go. You don't have to do crossovers. That's it. No, it's all right. So on your next time, your second time, you'll have to face this way. Okay, so second time face this way. So you can work the other side. You don't have to do the front jump. Side shuffle around, cross over into takeoff.
I don't think I was trying to do crossover. Extra practice.
Yes, that was good, Fifi. And then big crossover. Yeah, good. Nice, good.
Just once on each side.
Good, and then we're all done. So you can get some water, and then we'll just like wrap up. Thank Ivy, she's the one who, she didn't make a sheet, so I could just like do my thing. I would have put her in a, like a not full onesie. I'm so hot.
How old is she?
4 months. So do you guys have any questions about anything? I'll send my notes to whoever wants them, and then you guys can talk about it. But generally, don't just do squats. Do deadlifts, do single leg stuff, do balance work, work your core and midline, and then don't neglect your upper body, okay? It's surprising how many shoulder injuries there are, how many collarbones have been broken, how many times you fall on your shoulder. Like, it happens a lot. So like, the more stable you are from top to bottom, the safer you're gonna be. Yes?
For like regular workouts outside of derby, would you recommend like full body every time or like splits?
I think it depends on how much time you have.
Okay. So like say 45, 60 minutes.
How many times a week?
4 or 5.
I would probably do,
Try like 2 days.
if you were working out 4 to 5 days a week, I would be doing squats and single leg stuff and deadlifts probably 2 to 3 days out of those. And then the other 2 to 3 days balancing it out with agility, explosive movement, and upper body. I don't think about workouts in like lower body one day, upper body the next, because sports are not played that way.
Yeah.
So like, train how you play, which is full body most of the time. Sure, if you're gonna do strict press one day, maybe don't do strict press the second day, but like, I don't see any problem with squatting 3 to 4 times in a week, right? So like, I think it's more about the variation, the thought process behind it, the intent, and kind of doing more of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing box jumps, don't look at my shins as an example for like what can happen, but like box jumps are probably one of the best movements that you can do. Squat jumps are a good substitute, or tuck jumps, but like, if you gotta be explosive in roller derby. So if you're not doing things to work on being explosive, whether that's laterally or horizontally, you're missing out on something, because you need it to be successful, even as a blockers. I'm looking at you. It's not just jammers. So I would just highly recommend that. Any other questions? You can feel free to send me a message via anyone in leadership and have it sent to me. I'll send my notes. Thanks to Ivy for being so chill. Aiden doesn't even know that practice has ended, so for me it hasn't ended. Well, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
It was nice to coach again. I've been coached since before the pandemic. All right, have a good practice, guys.
Thank you.